Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to the DTM Esports Classic Challenge finale here at the Nordschleife. And Ollie, we've got a very special guest here, haven't we? Starting P2 in both races, Danny.
Indeed, he's the Formula 3 champion of 2012 and DTM driver. Now he's taking part at the DTM Esports Classic Challenge as well. Welcome, Danny. How do you feel in the car? Obviously, you did a fast lap, but you're struggling a bit with the 1992 cars, I've heard.
Yeah. Hello, Ollie. Hi, everyone. I think it's great to be here. A lot of fun for this last round. Nordschleife is a big highlight for everybody. But yeah, like you said, the first race is going to be a bit of damage limitation race because for some reason I'm struggling a lot with the actual cars, with the 1992 cars. And yeah, we'll see. It will be a lot of fun, but saving all my power for the second race where I start second and I have a good chance from there.
How about your experience on the in the green hell on this iconic track?
Well, actually, it's a funny point that I did the classic 6-hour race with this actual car in real life. I did it with Peter Mucke, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and the car is really cool to drive in real life as well. It's moving everywhere, and the track is just amazing. I love Nürburgring. I love the Nordschleife, so I'd like to for sure come back there for the 24 hours whenever I have the chance. And yeah, it's a great event, and for now, only virtually, so it's for sure a lot of fun for us professional drivers to be racing in this track.
Great to have you with us. We keep our fingers crossed and wish you a lot of fun. Thanks, Danny.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
There you go. Seems pretty calm, pretty composed, like there's nothing too crazy there. And in the sim world, we call that cheating, driving the actual car in real life. So he's got the best preparation possible right now.
Indeed we have, and we will see how the real car fits to the model in this eSport challenge. But let's hope that Danny will have some good results, at least finishing in the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an interesting one today. Again, across two different car years, effectively. Two completely different cars here. There's Nico Müller. We will actually be talking to him later on in the stream as well, which is always good. He has been sim racing up to his eyeballs recently in multiple different championships. I have the pleasure of witnessing him driving the Formula E currently. But today he is focused on that Audi. Look how big that Audi is compared to the rest of the cars. But like you said, Ollie, they're being penalised for the power of that car today.
Yeah, but he knows how to handle that virtual Audi car, as he won the second race in the first round of the DTM Esports Classic Challenge at Zolder. We got him standing on the top step of the podium.
Here's Ben Spanky. He will be starting from pole position here today. And of course, he had a very, very good showing over, was it round three? Round three, where he was incredible. Didn't quite manage to get the job done, but he was right at the front for both races. So will we see Bent Spanky today take home the checkered flag? I've seen him race at the Nordschleife a few times before, and he is very, very good indeed. Here's Dave Gaming. He is Twitch and YouTube fame. He'll have lots of his fans watching him currently right now. I'm not sure how many of them are in the stream right now, but hello to the Dave Gaming fans. Today it looks like he is in the Mercedes.
And the clock is ticking down. Practice is gonna be over in a few seconds, and we're preparing for the 24.433 kilometers of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Here we got the result.
Yeah, well, here is indeed a little check on what the qualifying status was. It's Ben Spanky on pole position. Danny is in second with Ben Tuck in third. Lucas Wertzer is in fourth position. Sheldon van der Linde with his brother in behind him, spotting for him today, is in fifth position. And then we've got Petter, the esports star. He is from the Monza championship, or the Monza race we had here. But anyway, we've got them all grilling up here, ready for this race, Ollie. 3 laps of the Nordschleife with the sprint variant of the GP circuit. Should be very interesting indeed. And again, Danny will be worried about not having the pace with this specific car, but if he can get out of the GP layout first and foremost, and then get onto the Nordschleife, it's very easy to make your car wide there. Here we go. Here's the 5 red lights here for the DTM Esports Classic Challenge finale. Race 1 of 2 here today. Ben Spanky on pole. And we've got Danny Junkadella in second position. Look at the Audis already trying to get up ahead of the BMWs, the Opels. They've got all sorts of cars here down there towards turn 1. And around the outside there, you can see already that it is Sheldon van der Linde making his way past everybody at this point. He's going to have to get a long way around, 4 wide, 5 wide. Wow. And then we've got someone who's completely missed their braking point there. And I'm not too sure who that was. Was that Rockenfeller? Might well have been. We will officially get that checked. No, it wasn't Rockenfeller. It was Robin Frijns. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. He's been kind of the unsung hero of this championship so far, getting points pretty much every single round, the last 4 rounds specifically. But this is going to be very much a race of attrition for him now. It's going to be a long race here, 3 laps of this. But they've all got through relatively cleanly. And again, there was no contact there, Ollie. What a great start.
Yeah, indeed. But it looked a bit like the Porsche we had some years ago at the start of the 24 hours, where they jumped from the lower rows to the front of the grid in some of the first corners. But here we go on the short version of the Nürburgring course, and then turning left and enter the famous Nordschleife.
Mihai Neg, then the only Romanian in the field right now, was trying to make a move on Lucas Auer, of course one of our star drivers in this championship. Didn't quite get the job done, and then lost the position. He's run a little bit wide. Ben Green, now up into P11. But there's Rene Rast then. So Rene Rast has got in behind him Habsburg. So the 2 Audis, they head on to the Nordschleife part of this circuit for the very first time here. And this is where it's going to get frosty now. Ollie needs to be very, very careful. A small mistake around this circuit have some really big ramifications.
Indeed. Rene Rast won the 24 hours of Nürburgring at 2014 with his team Phoenix with Ernst Moser in the R8 LMS Ultra, but this is a complete different car, and let's see how he manages it now entering that famous track.
Yeah, the Audi, of course, has got the added weight to the car because, of course, it's a little bit faster than the rest. We saw that in the first few rounds. I'll tell you what, it's a late little move there up the inside, potentially. No, Ben Spanky holds on. Ben Tuck, of course, was incredible at Monza last week. Trying to make the move here on Ben Spanky again. It's a pretty easy circuit to defend on, but you can see the little mistake there by Ben Tuck. Tried to make a move at the inside, cost him a load of time. You can see the little jump there. Loads of cars going up in the air there, which is great to see within sim racing. Ben not able to get Nico. I'll tell you what, even though he said he's pretty sluggish around here, doing a pretty good job here. Lost 1 position off the start of this race. I think if you offered him a P3 before this race started, he probably would have taken it.
Yeah, we're going to see Ben Tuck in the DTM Trophy, the supporting series, the GT4 cars racing on the DTM races as well. And he manages to pass the leader, Ben Spanky, on the outside. And now he's trying to defend and put himself back to the front.
Very opportunistic move that was. Maybe a little bit of rubbings racing there on Ben Spanky. And Ben he is very much aware of those situations, realised that no one was going to be home. And indeed did the reverse whoop-de-wop. Got the job done. So Ben Spanky still leads this race. Ben Tuck there, you can see how wide his monitor. I'm sure he's got triples there for this, which is great to see. He's got probably I can't ever say that word. I've had seat as well, but a proper sim setup rig here. And again, a long race, so plenty of time to get this done. But he looks like he wants to get this job done as soon as possible, because I feel like he may have some serious pace around this circuit.
Yeah. 1/3 of the track almost done. We're with Nico Müller, who's 7th in the positions at the moment, approaching Kahlenhardt and Weerseifen, the famous corners in the green.
Nico Müller's dropped back here. He's dropped behind Brugman and Wertzer. He was just in behind Rene Rast. Rene Rast has actually gained a position here, so Rene is now up to P4, and he's now closing in on the leaders here. So yeah, Nico has dropped down, which is not ideal to see. And again, you know, losing positions around the circuit such as this is so difficult to gain them back. So you don't really want to be giving anybody any freebies. But look at the front three here, front four, front five. They are very, very closely knit here. And of course, when they get onto that very, very long back straight, that's where the moves are primarily going to be happening here. So you just want to get yourself in a position to take full advantage of that. Again, a very tough circuit to make any overtakes. You're waiting for a driver to effectively make a mistake. And well, there are plenty of corners here, Ollie, to make mistakes. How many corners are around this circuit?
On the Nordschleife, it's 73 corners, which of them 2 have banking. These are the only corners in Europe still in use with banking.
Yeah, look at that. Ollie Sittler is an absolute fact machine right now. But you can see that there are 4 different manufacturers in the top 4. So the ballast that have been added to cars that may be a little bit quicker seems to have balanced out perfectly here. But again, we've got that Opel leading the way of Ben Spanky. We're on board then with Danny Jukadaya. Then we are now on board with, of course, there's a Hungarian here, Ollie. Always
yes,
a Hungarian.
Always. It's Sylvester Soboslai in the Ford. We see him on the 17th spot at the moment. And I'm wondering, Luke, when it's going to start to rain or to snow here on Nürburgring. This is the fight for the first, or for the leading. Banky still in the front, but Ben Tuck is moving from the inside and puts himself to P1.
What an incredible move that is. Ben Tuck taking full advantage here as they come up towards the carousel for the first time here of 3 in this race. And now we're going to see how quick Ben Tuck really is. Jukadaya again. Oh, I'm really slow around this circuit, currently battling for the lead of the race. So if he's slow in this car, how quick is he going to be in the 2016s around the Nordschleife? But yeah, Ben Spanky, he wasn't able to hold on to that position. You can see already that Ben Tuck is driving away right now. He's taking full advantage of this, and he definitely is the quickest man on circuit right now.
And there's going to be a lot of experts behind the wheel, as we have seen no major accidents so far.
No, it's been really, really good. Actually, to be fair, unfortunately, Sheldon van der Linden finds himself down in P25. Not too sure what's happened to him. Again, he has got his brother helping here. Lucas Auer just dropped down into P13. There's a proper battle going on here, actually, between Lucas Auer and it looks like Hulok. Again, can't pronounce names because that's just my gimmick at this point. Lucas Auer then battling with the Audis, closes the nose off there of the German, and he's got 2 Audis behind him. What's worse than 1 Audi? 2 of them. Especially around a circuit like this, you've got your wing mirror full of Audi. No, there's a big spin there. Ooh. That is not ideal. That's Rockenfeller. So Rockenfeller has just fallen off the circuit there. And well, he comes back on and oh dear, he's having a bit of an Austin Powers moment here. And these curbs, you can indeed beach yourself, so you can't reverse back on. I think he's done that. I think he's beached himself here and he's done. He's smiling still. Very reverent there. He's out of the race. So yeah, the curbs are so raised here that your wheels have got no traction on the ground. And oh dear, we've got Mihai here. Looks like he may be taking a slowdown. And well, look at side-by-side action in the background then. So it looks like the our only Hungarian in this championship then is now battling with Robin Frijns. And Frijns, of course, we saw go down to the back of the grid order here. And well, Frijns already up to P16. Ollie, we said that he's been getting good results every single week without winning any races. And well, he's plowing through the field now like a tractor in harvest season.
Yeah, but still, I think he's a bit struggling with his old 1992 cars. Here's Rene Rast playing the advantage of the Audis, the 4-wheel drive cars. He's up to the 3rd spot already. Here we have Danny Jukadaya, who's back on 6th position as he lost some spots.
Yeah, now they head down that very, very long straight here through the right-hander before they do now go to Slipstream City. And I think Ben Tuck's done the job here. I think he's just out of Slipstream range here. So Ben Tuck's done everything he needs to do here. Ben Spanky will get that Opel going. Once it gets going, it's a very quick motor indeed. The Audi has got a BMW behind them. In round 1, we saw the Audis able to drive away from every other car, really. They were a bit faster. And actually, to be fair, the BMW may be struggling just about to keep up here. It's Brugman trying to make a move here for potential P3 on Rene Rast. And if you told Brugman at the start of this championship you're going to be battling Rene Rast around the Nordschleife for P3, he probably would have laughed at you. So that's quite an incredible story there for him as we come up then towards the GP layout once again. And Ben Spanky has just dropped off the pace ever so slightly here. So we did indeed have pole position. Jukadaya was in 2nd spot. Jukadaya has moved down into P7. But well, Rene Rast has gone up from P6 on his first lap up to P3. So can he make his way forward here? Potentially close up to Ben Tuck and maybe get his first victory of our season.
Yeah, we will see. But he's a Nordschleife pro, obviously, while he goes into the 2nd lap of them all. I was wondering, no one was crashing his car in the last corners Hohenrhein and T13, or no, the last corner is Hohenrhein, while Lucas Auer is spinning his BMW, because there's a lot of place for mistakes after the long straight of Döttinger Höhe and missing the braking point, but obviously everyone did well. Lucas, it seems like he has cold tires.
Well, no, I think it's quite the opposite there. I think that spin's completely overheated his tyres here, so no grips are going to be like bubble gum trying to go around the corners and getting into a braking zone. So that's probably what's happened to him there. But yeah, huge error. I think, to be fair, there's not many opportunities for fans to see the car around the Nordschleife. So when he gets into the stadium section of the GP layer, it's just doing a couple of burnouts for the fans in the stands. So you can only respect it, really, can't you?
Yes. Well, he likes the fans, and he does everything to entertain. We're here with Nico Müller, the Swiss guy, on position 6 at the moment, winner of the second race in Solder, but he's struggling a little bit. He has to move forwards at least some spots to hit the podium. Lars Brookman is on 4, the Dutch guy in the BMW from Team Schnitzer.
Yeah, as we do indeed head on to the Nordschleife lap number 2, I think Nico Müller's in a good spot here. He's got a bit of clean air to work with Sector 1. Sector 1 probably is the toughest sector of the Nordschleife in itself. For me personally, I just did a 24-hour race there 5 weeks ago, so I'm pretty well adept with this circuit at this point. But he's got a nice bit of breathing room, nice bit of clear air to sort of run into, and then maybe attack through the middle sector on potentially Wurzer. But Brugman is not letting Rene Rast have a moment's peace here. That BMW is making the Audi work overtime right now.
He's a hunter in the woods, as it looks like, and he's hunting the winner of 2014, the double DTM champion. So that's the guys are competing against each other. On P4 is Lars Brookman hunting down the Nordschleife.
How good's the racing been though, Ollie? We've been here for every single week of this championship. This week 5, race 9 of 10. The racing has been so... I've been involved with loads of esports competitions, and they've all had their good points and their bad points, but the racing in general, when you bring esports drivers together and real-life drivers together, it's sometimes questionable. I tell you what, here's a move being made here. 4P3 and Brugman. Oh, it's textbook. He's taken the page out of the textbook. He has read it out loud, and he's got the move done. Now he's off to chase down Bence Banki. It's taken him, the best part of a lap here to get it done. But Lars Brugman is looking very fast here. And actually, BMW is looking very fast here as well.
What a great move he did. Moving up to P3, while I take a look at Dani Juncadella. He's down at the 7th spot at the moment, and he's trying to avoid some damage, like he told us in the interview before. One guy is out. That was not Dani Juncadella, it was Nico Müller, and it was a present for the Spaniard, and he's up to 6th.
Yeah, he just got a freebie there. Back to the conversation about the racing. Like, the racing's been so respectful, hasn't it, Ollie? Like,
yes.
I've really enjoyed every second of this championship. You know, with the DRS cars as well. Like, it's promoted more overtaking, but the respect levels from each and every driver has been exceptional.
Incredible racing we've seen, and we're gonna see some DRS moves again in the second race here at the Nürburgring Nordschleife when we switch to the 2016 DTM cars. Where we take a look at Ben Green, who's hunting down Mr. Knartz on the 16th position, but still I thought maybe it's not going to be the DTM drivers taking their victories in the esports, but obviously they have done the step from real sports into esports and performing very well compared to those guys who do it day by day and weekend by weekend in the esport challenges.
You are spot on, Ollie. I completely agree with you there. Like, especially today, I thought the Nordschleife, you know, it's one of those circuits where, you know, it's to know the circuit's one thing, but to know the nuances within a game, because every game's different. Every game's obviously different to real life. But to know the nuances of a game is kind of the ultra edge. Again, that, you know, the drivers such as Rene Rast, of course, is one of the very best in the world of all time from Germany. You know, he has that ability within real racing. But to see that today, where we've got a real driver leading, but then there is that esports driver in behind. So it's been interesting to see how it's transitioned over the weeks. But we've seen like an even balance of esports drivers and DTM drivers, which I'm really surprised. I'm not going to lie. I didn't really think the DTM drivers had much of a chance before this championship started. But they have proved me well and truly wrong, and I'm very happy for that as well.
I'm very happy to see Ben Tuck, the DTM Trophy driver, in the front spot. At the moment, he did very well over the last few weeks, and I think he's going to do very well in the DTM Trophy races we're going to see as having been part of the DTM weekends in this season. They are working pretty hard on the new calendar, the third for this season, and I think there's going to be some news pretty soon, and you should know then when and where to watch DTM and the DTM Trophy. As the BOP is done, we're preparing for some thrilling racing, and I think Ben Tuck is one of the favorites.
Yeah, I'm absolutely excited. I'm really excited to hear about that racing coming back. Any racing coming back right now is what we want. Just all of it right now. We're going to have too much of it at one point because everyone's going to try and get back as soon as possible. But while we were talking there, Brugman's made his way up into P2, Ollie, and he's already pulling away from that Opel. So we might see a potential last lap battle between the two BMW drivers. So Ben Tuck leads, Lars Brugman is in second. And well, Brugman is looking very dangerous right now indeed. He's managed to overtake Bence Banki, who's one of the very best esports drivers the world's ever seen, and Rene Rast, one of the best real-world drivers the world's ever seen. I tell you what, that's a hell of a CV for Brugman right now.
Indeed, but I'm wondering where my DTM favorites are. It's just Rene Rast holding the head up on the fourth spot at the moment, and it's Ben Tuck. He's a real race driver. Brugman and Banki are sim racing drivers, and they are still on position 2 and 3. Let's see what the third lap here at Nordschleife changes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on board here with Junker Dyer again, who indeed said that he wasn't really looking forward to these specific cars. He has spent, he's done a 6-hour race with this actual car, but he felt like he didn't have the pace here. So a P6, again, he'll probably take that at the start of this race. He's going to be pretty happy with that. Nico Müller is not able to look forward towards him at this point because he's got in behind him a German and a Czech driver, both trying to take that position away. I'll tell you what, hitting the curbs like that, the Audis like to munch the curbs pretty easily, but not quite like that. He was on 2 wheels at one point there, and that's not the ideal way of getting around the Nordschleife.
Obviously not, but I think with the 1992 cars, it's some sort of normal that you take at least two of the wheels up, unless you're at Flugplatz, where all 4 wheels should be in the air.
Yeah, these DTM cars are the cars that you saw on the normal roads. On a Sunday afternoon, you're seeing all of these cars down at the beach. They've taken their whole family out. They're proper family cars, but made into racing cars, which is that's why they're so. I think that's why they're so iconic, Ollie, because many people actually owned the real road version.
Indeed, but we had some. The politics was paying money to get new cars some years ago, and that's removed all these iconic cars from German Autobahn.
Yeah, it's a shame, but ultimately motorsports moves on. That's just the world we live in. We can see here that there was a little bit of bump drafting there. It looked like Kubowski was pushing his fellow sim racer along there in the Audi to get the job done on Nico Müller. But I think Müller may have some damage there because it was relatively easy for them to get the overtake. And, slipstream's one thing, but to get the overtake done as easy as that, definitely some sort of damage. Robin Frijns again, he was last. He was in 27th place or 26th place at the start of this race. And now he finds himself, 25th he was actually. And now he finds himself in P14. I think a top 10 might just be out of the question for him. But Frijns looking very dangerous. And again, every single week he just has that understated performance, the performance that we kind of never really see. We did last week in Monza because he was right at the front, but he's always there or thereabouts, but never really in the spotlight. So can race 2, can the final race of today be the time that Robin Frijns goes and gets the job done?
I hope very much, as we take a look inside of his home, while he's driving the Audi on the 14th position. If you want to see those cars, be sure, in real life, be sure to tune in to YouTube when we do the live streams for the Touring Car Classic races as part of the DTM weekends. And wow, what a great drift we've seen there from Robin Frijns on the hunt of Michael Knoll.
Yeah, he tried to make a move at the inside there, but got on the brakes a little bit too late and unfortunately lost a position here. Ben Tuck then is in the lead of this race, but Lars Brugman is chasing him down. 2 BMWs then battling for the victory in race number 1. Who's going to get the job done? Early in this race we had Ben Tuck, who was in behind, of course, Bent Banky. Took him about half a lap to get the job done. Eventually did, then drove away. And well, Brugman's had to come up from P5. So Brugman right now is in P2, and he is closing in at a rate of knots. I think we're going to see some side-by-side action here, Ollie. I tell you what, I cannot wait.
I think so as well, and no one of the top 3 has won a race yet, as we have seen challenger Brody Steen winning the first round, Nico Müller the second, then Tom Blomqvist and Lucas Auer for races 3 and 4. Jano Opmeer won round 3, race 1 and 2. We got Tom Blomqvist and Calvin van der Linde winning the last 2 races, and this is Ben Tuck, the DTM Trophy driver. With his GT4 car, he's going to be starting in real life as part of the real DTM races in 2020. And he's still leading this third lap here at Nordschleife, but he's hunted down by Lars Brockman on the second spot. But he's really close, but he does not find a way to pass him.
Yeah, Brugman there trying his level best then to try and find a little gap as they come up towards the first little stadium sections of the Nordschleife very, very shortly. But you can see that it is Brugman all over the back here of Ben Tuck. Ben Tuck was brilliant last week at Monza. Again, another unsung hero. Just wasn't quite at the top level that he needed to be at, unfortunately. But he was, so close. But today again, is he going to be the bridesmaid again, or will he get the job done? He's got to make that BMW as wide as possible. And I guess the only real good factor here is he knows the strength of the car behind him because he's in that car.
Indeed. I'm wondering whether he ever drove an M3 from 1992, because he's so young. And I'm pretty sure his father or whatever older brother does not have or own one of these cars. So I wonder if BMW ever let him drive a car like that.
Brugman's got the job done. So again, we've seen an overtake at that corner every single lap for the lead front 5 cars. And when it's happened again, so Lars Brugman does indeed hold the lead of this race. And it might be quite nice to see a little bit of cockpit action from Brugman. See his inputs here around the Nordschleife, because he looks very, very good indeed. There we go. You see how much he's rotating that wheel there, but it's very smooth indeed. Very minimal inputs, of course, with the track. Indeed, having all of the lumps and bumps of the Nordschleife. Again, you've got to love this track for what it is. It is the most unique circuit in the world of racing. But again, it's the undulations as well, the gradients of this circuit, the cambers of the circuit. It was an orthodox circuit back in the day, Ollie, but it's so unorthodox these days.
Indeed, it was opened in 1911 to prove the strength of cars, and it's still open, and it's still open for racing, and everyone loves it. We got big fans all over the world coming to the Nürburgring Nordschleife, and I think it's the guys with the yellow back number plates to be towed every weekend off the track or off the gravel.
Yeah, I've been watching YouTube videos for years of actually that corner there, actually, to be fair, where the people are just going off the circuit left, right and centre, and some very, very expensive crashes. That's all I can say. People take their old commissioned road cars, race cars, sorry, that they bought that were previously in racing championships. They take it around a Nordschleife just to scrap it effectively, judging by some of the accidents here. Bent Banky then under pressure here from Rene Rast. Rene Rast trying to find a gap here, and Bent Banky making that Opel as wide as possible here. And well, again, we've been talking about these guys. Bent Banky, one of the very best in esports ever, and Rene Rast, one of the best ever drivers in the world of motor racing. So yeah, we've got 2 drivers from both spectrums here, again, right from the top here. Who's going to come out on top? Who will get that podium? Again, through the final time of race 1, through the carousel. Here it's Audi versus Opel for that podium spot. And I think Brugman is able to drive away here from Ben Tuck, so that might not be a battle for the lead. So this is the best battle right now on circuit. And can Rene Rast find a gap here as they come through the left-hander up the hill?
It's called Hohe 8 and down to Hedwigshöhe and Wippermann.
Very fast part of this circuit as well here for the state of the corners as well. It's a very tough place to make overtakes here. And Rene Rast, again, just keeping that pressure on. trying his level best to find that gap here. You can see he's almost creating contact there. Just a little love bumps with Benz Banky to maybe put off the Opel driver here. And again, look how much the curb they are able to take here. You've got to be very careful through this right-hander because the exit of the corner just creeps up on you. And then they come down the hill through this left-hander again. And it's strange. There's so many blind exits to this circuit here. You need to learn every single niche to really get the maximum out of the Nordschleife.
By the way, in 1992, the 24 Hours of Nürburgring were won by FINA Motorsport team with a BMW M3 E30 by Jean-Michel Martin, Christian Danner and Johnny Cecotto.
Ollie, you and your facts, I'm going to miss them. When this is all done, I'm going to miss it. I might have to just text you just to get my weekly dose of facts from you.
Try to get an internet access.
Absolutely. Well, side-by-side action here. This is for P10. So Nico Müller trying to hold on to that final points-paying position. Again, there's not really a points championship. We do have a point system for us to kind of reference where people are in a championship. So it's always nice to get a top 10. If you can't get a podium or a top 5, top 10 is the next best, right, Ollie?
I'm sorry, I was just trying to get some new facts.
Oh, he's got his Wikipedia open. It's all the behind the curtain, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Rene Rast, by the way, is up ahead here of Benz Banky. So this battle for P3 has taken a turn here as they've got one last straight. And I think Benz Banky might have used his experience of this circuit and let him through. So is it going to work out for him here? Rene Rast, he'll obviously know that's the case if it is. It has indeed happened. As they come around this long-winded right-hander here. And again, if you hit the apex perfectly there, you don't really need to use your gears. You can just get off the gas ever so slightly, and you're all good. And there you go. You can see the Opel already closing in here. And Rene Rast hasn't made a defensive move here yet. So will he do a reaction to a move potentially? No, he won't. So Benz Banky's going to be forced to go around the outside here then for P3. And there we go. Rene Rast straight into the... Well, Benz Banky cleverly already jumps across the circuit to break the toe as they come up towards the final few corners here of this race. Will the Opel get onto that podium or will it be Audi? Rene Rast is just about 3 car lengths back here to get this podium, and Benz Banky's played an absolute blinder. But as we come around the final corner here, it is Lars Brugman who's made some of the best overtakes of the race here to get himself in the lead. But once he did get in the lead, he did not look back. He takes victory in race number 1. Ben Tuck will finish in second, but who will finish third? You can see that Rene's in this slipstream here of Benz Banky. Is a drag race.
Wow.
And wow, Benz Banky will take P3. What a race from those drivers. Then we have got Junker Dyer then, who finished in P6. He'll be pretty damn happy with that. Verza finished in P5. We've then got Kubowski, who finished is in P7. And wow, everyone's just celebrating now down in turn 1. Are they down in oh, no, they're still racing. No. Sorry, these are still going. Ferdinand Habsburg there. I don't know what was happening there. Maybe he thought he'd already finished the race.
He just missed the packing point.
Yeah, it's very easy to do that there. You lose concentration because that straight is so long. And now Habsburg finishes down in P11. What a race, Ollie!
Incredible, and what a clever move of the guys in the front, Benz Banky and Rene Rast, letting him pass and then using the slipstream on the Döttinger Höhe to get P3 again. So what a great thing and what a clever move.
Yeah, superb stuff here. We see that Dave Gaming still yet to finish here, but he is going to finish. That's the main thing. Again, it's a very, very tough track to just get around for 3 laps, let alone racing side by side with people as he comes up then towards the final few corners. But yeah, it was an incredible race from our front runners. We will get the official results up for you as soon as all of the cars have crossed the line here. But it is Brugman who takes the checkered flag, and yeah, he will have a lot easier races in his future, that's for sure, Ollie. He had to do it the hard way. He had to make some sensational overtakes to get the job done.
Incredible, and that on the toughest track of them all, the Nürburgring Nordschleife, the longest track and the toughest. And we got Dave Gaming here on the 17th position over the line, and we're still missing some 8 of the drivers. Race winner is Lars Brugman, one of the sim racer guys, in front of Ben Tuck and Benz Banky on... No, I'm sorry. I can't read the
yeah, Lars Brugman finished in P1. Ben Tuck did finish in P2. Yep. Benz Banky, the final step of the podium.
Great.
And well, fastest lap of the race as well. As soon as he got some clean air, it was Lars Brugman. But right now, we are now going to see some messages from our partners.
I'm on the road, like a boss. Emos, my neighbor's green, like charging clean. His new ride has tech inside. Across the street, a different need. Top condition, low emission. And as a team, hybrid dream. Cause it drives so many miles, many miles, many miles, many miles. What the truck? Here comes Chuck. His fuel cell has no smell. Great range to make a change. And I decide how I ride. We decide how we ride. Whatever you drive, drive like a Bosch. With innovative powertrains from combustion engines to electric drives and fuel cells for lower emissions and better air quality. From Bosch.
Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to the DTM Esports Classic Challenge. What a first race we had there with the 1992 DTM cars. Now we're in the 2016, and while talking of new cars, it's been 4 long years it's been 2016 was the last DTM car we had in race room, and now it's been announced we officially are going to get the 2020 cars very soon. And well, Ollie, it's probably best for you to talk about this. What nuances, what specialties do these new 2020 cars have?
We have, we see the 2016 cars with the old V8 4-liter engine we've seen from 2000 till 2018 in DTM, and in the last season they switched to the 2-liter turbo engines with more horsepowers and obviously the turbo and the push-to-pass button as well. And we're gonna see these cars for this DTM season. Again, it's going to be a thrilling calendar they gonna announce in the next days or weeks, and they're working pretty hard on it to provide the biggest of spectacular racing we can have in this pandemic season 2020. And I'm looking forward to see the 2020 cars live on track and in race room as well.
Yeah, so talking about racing, let's go from the 2016 car to the 2020 car. What difference will it make for the ladies and gentlemen who will indeed buy this on race room in terms of racing?
It's less aerodynamics in the new cars compared to 2016, but it's more power. The 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine provides plenty of more power for the back wheels than the 2016 cars. So I think it's going to be a pretty good step forward in simulator racing as well as on the racetracks.
Yeah, but let's go back to our first race here. We had the 1992 car, so the difference between 16 and 20 is not going to be as huge as from 1992 to 2016.
Obviously
we are now
not.
in the 2016 cars here. Who do you think is going to be looking to do well in this race? Who do you think is our favourite to win this race?
I'm not quite sure, but I think Dani Juncadella did quite well in qualifying, as he was on P2 on the Grand Prix track. But maybe we can have Nico Müller in front again, who's with us now for the second interview. Hi, Nico.
Hi, Ollie. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Pretty busy, as you can see, probably.
Obviously, you were struggling a bit with the 1992 cars, but what do you say about the 2016 DTM cars?
I wouldn't say that the issue was the 1992 cars. It was the guy behind the steering wheel. The race with the 1992 car started off quite well. I think I was running 6 after 1.5 laps. But then, I overcooked it a bit after Fuchsröhre, put 2 wheels on the grass and spun. And from then on, I had like a big power loss, so I went backwards, and I don't know where I finished. I think 7th or something like that. But it was good fun, which yeah, I guess is the main thing. I hope people enjoyed watching, and I'll try to do a little bit better now in the 216 DTM cars, although I could imagine it will be even more difficult because some of the guys, they are really, really on it with those cars here.
And you proved already that you can handle the 1992 cars pretty well as you won the second race of the first round in Solder. But let's talk about some private stuff. I've heard you're pretty good at juggling, standing on 1 foot and juggling 4 balls around. How do you manage that?
Bit of practice, obviously. I started doing it a while ago as part of my training routine, just to have some coordination and let's say stability exercises in it. So I do the juggling not on one leg, but on a board. How do you call that board? Like a balance board. So yeah, just to do some coordination work and get the body awake.
Okay, what's your what do you think about the result of the 2016 cars while you crashed your DTM car during practice now?
Well, it's a challenge. I didn't really practice. I did 1 lap on the Nordschleife before the event, and yeah, that was already challenging to complete the lap without going off track. So I guess it will not be so easy to just survive the race without any issues. But I'll do my best and see what comes out in the end. But it's for sure very enjoyable and something I would love doing in reality, because these cars around that very challenging track are super exciting. The few corners I did now before crashing were yeah, super exciting. The cars can carry so much speed through the high-speed sections. That's yeah, really mind-blowing, and it would be mega to do that in reality too.
And you know how to handle the cars around the Nordschleife, as you were winning the race in 2015, the 24 hours in Audi R8 LMS.
Yeah, that was cool. Would love to give it another go.
Yeah, we keep the finger crossed and take a close look on you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Müller.
One
Good
quick question from me,
Oh,
Nico.
well,
Sorry, Nico. Luke here.
Yeah.
I've been casting the Formula E stuff as well. So how's it been for you to transition between the 2 competitions?
Not so easy, honestly. I mean, in all those simulations, you have to adapt to what the cars in the respective simulations need in order to be driven fast. There's always some little tricks here and there that make you go faster, and yeah, you just need practice. And as I also like doing other stuff, I mean, I really enjoyed sim racing and getting into it now in these few weeks at home, but I still like to do some other stuff as well. So I'm not the guy spending hours on the sim every day, which probably doesn't help my performance, but I still enjoy it. I still think it's good to keep the reflexes sharp, and yeah, it's cool to be active in several different series and races.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, Nico. Good luck for this race.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Hopefully you get a very positive result. Well, there you go, Ollie. Nico Müller there, and he spoke with us yesterday, actually, for the Formula E, and he's been so positive about sim racing and how much it will help him, again, stay sharp. And he stated yesterday that he's the fittest he's ever been. Because of this lockdown, he's been out on the bike. Cycling's one of his main hobbies. So he really has taken full advantage of, not being kind of overwhelmed by a schedule. And I'm really expecting to see big things from Nico moving forward in the real world.
Indeed, and I'm looking forward to see some good performance of Mike Rockenfeller. He's very into sim racing since the start of the season. He's fastest at the moment and the DTM champion of 2013 with his Scheffler Audi RS5 car.
Yeah, I would love to have seen him versus Kelvin. Battle of the Smiles in the final race. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen because Sheldon is indeed driving at Kelvin's house. So, yeah, we're not going to see the Battle of the Smiles. But, well, when we've seen Rockenfeller finally get a real positive result, he looks very quick in this car, the newer car here as well. A lot of experience around the circuit as well. So I'm very excited to see how all this plays out. Again, qualifying has already been done. So the grid will be exactly the same from race 1. into race 2. You can see Ben Spanky then will start on pole position with Junkadaya in 2nd spot. Ben Tuck then in 3rd. Wurzer is in 4th position. And look at this, Lars Brugman, winner from race 1. He started down in P10, Ollie. How incredible is that?
Yeah, he had to move through half of the field. And we see Lucas Kramberg at 11, Robin Frijns at 12. Maybe he has a better race this time. We got Ferdinand van Habsburg at position 13. Mihai Nek and Nico Müller we just talked to. He has to start from position 15, just in front of Marcel Holoch. Lukas Auer is with us, Sylvester Joboschlei, Christian Stock, Dirk Knartz, Mike Rockenfeller. He's going to be the one who has to completely move up the field from position 21. Matthias Keusel, 1 position behind Max Knoth, Maxim Untereiner, Sven Hirthammer, and Dave Gaming, the YouTube and Twitch star.
Szoboszlai, he's my man. It's always a Hungarian. There is always a Hungarian. He's going to go from P18 and win this race and back it up that the Hungarians are the best at race room. There is the circuit that we are at today, of course, then the Nürburgring Nordschleife with the Sprint GP variant. It's the sprint variant of the Nürburgring GP circuit. So 3 laps in a little bit of a quicker car here with the 2016 model. They got DRS as well here. We've got 25 seconds for everyone to indeed get onto the grid. And well, let's see how this goes. It was very, very clean at the start of race number 1. Will it be the same here in race number 2? Ben Spanky then is on pole position. We've got 5 red lights. It's a DTM Esports Classic Challenge. Final race here of our championship, and well, actually, it's a pretty poor start from our pole sitter, and he's already under pressure from 2 separate drivers as we head down towards turn number 1, and actually it could potentially go 4 wide. Ben Tuck then already takes the lead, and actually he's tucking himself in there, pardon the pun, 3 wide in behind him there as well, and Wurzer just momentarily took the 2nd spot, but I think that Junkadea is going to hold on to P2 here. He does indeed in that black car up the inside there. He's in the Mercedes. Wurzer in P3 and Ben Spanky is in P4 there. A rough but ready start there, Ollie, as they do indeed continue this sprint variant circuit. And actually, Junkadea has just been given a little love tap off the circuit there by Ben Spanky. And to be fair, they are both still alive and kicking. And to be fair, Junkadea is trying to go around the outside of Ben Spanky. But Ben Spanky loses only 1 position here. And wow, they're still not filtering in to a single file. And they need to do that before they go onto the Nordschleife, where otherwise we're going to see all sorts of action.
Very disciplined start of all the drivers, as we have seen no major damage. In the first corners, we get Dani Junkadea, the Spaniard, on the 3rd position at the moment. Ben Tuck is leading, while Ben Spanky, the man starting from pole, is on P2 at the moment. Then Junkadea, Kubowski, and Wurzer, the Austrian guy, on the 5th position in his BMW. Right in front of Rene Rast, and one just left the course, while they all are moving into the Nordschleife, and Junkadea, he has a long way to get back to the front, as he lost a lot of positions due to his short visit of the lawn.
Yeah, well, DRS is obviously a factor with these cars, but it won't have such a big effect because of just the nature of how long the circuit is. Plenty of time here for Ben Tuck to indeed drive away from the rest of the field here, so that indeed doesn't become a factor for him to be worried about. But also, again, it's such a long circuit, you can't use it very often here as well. Rene Rast is off now as well, so not a good day in the office then for Rene Rast. He's now down to P9, and well, Frijns is up to P8 here. Frijns is flying on it.
Indeed, the Flying Dutchman, and he gained a lot of spots at the first corners. I'm wondering how good he does now on the Nordschleife, as the cars are heading down a lot of elevation on this iconic racetrack in the Eifel in Germany.
Yeah, this race here definitely has the feels of a last race, doesn't it? People are more inclined to go side by side. It's kind of balls to the wall. Either the car gets home in a good position or it doesn't get home at all kind of attitude here. But it's still respectful. It's still brilliant to watch here. We're on board then with Nico Müller. Of course, we just spoke to him. He's in behind Lucas Auer. So he's got to try and get a couple of positions to come up the hill here. Be very, very careful here. You've got to try and get the car settled for the braking zone for this right, then left. It's a nice chicane up the top of the hill, but it's all blind. The entrance and the exits to that corner are blind as well. But I'll tell you what, Ben Spanky just aboard there very momentarily. He's actually lost a lot of time to Ben Tuck. Ben Tuck now in the lead by quite a considerable margin. Nico Müller gets the job done though after a mistake by, it looks like, Mihai Negs, a Romanian driver, may have just run off circuit ever so slightly. As we come through the left-hander side-by-side action here in front then of Nico Müller, and that was Lucas Auer and Rene Rast having a battle here. So looks like Lucas has moved up a position. Oh dear, that's too much curb there on the power too early, and actually he's come back on very dangerously here. Just needs to stay off the circuit, let everyone go through, and well, it's going from bad to worse for Rene Rast.
What a mess for this great racing driver, winning the Super Cup 3 times in the Porsche 911. I was taking a look to the statistics in the meanwhile, and there was one Opel, one DTM car winning the 24 hours here at Nürburgring. It was in 2003 with Manuel Reuter, Timo Scheider, Marcel Thiemann and Volker Stritzek in the V8 Coupe Astra. And that was the hell of a race. They did not well in the DTM season, but they managed to win this iconic 24-hour race.
Yeah, we'll see pretty much the same as race number 1. Ben Tuck then leading the way. Ben Spanky is in 2nd position, but it's Brugman up from 10th position already into a P5 right now. With them got Kubowski, who's just made a move on Wurzer. But look in the background then, Ben Green, of course, driving in his Ginetta shell at home in his rig, the best rig in sim racing right now. Those two are duking out nearly side by side then. Identical cars there to Ben Green and Brugman, but look who's in behind them now. It's now P7 for Robin Frijns. Frijns is coming through the pack here, and we could see a very interesting race here, Ollie.
Indeed, Robin Frijns, the best of the DTM drivers at the moment, and he's very well in esports, driving the Formula E as well, driving the RCCO Audi Race Home Series, driving the DTM Esports Classic, and many, many more. But I'm wondering, I think it's a bit of your age, as Ben Tucker is one of the youngest drivers of the real racing world, and he's leading in his BMW at the moment. Still.
Yeah, he's doing a stellar job here. You can see that there was counter steering there by Robin Frijns, a little bit of a brown trouser moment, but there was a bit of a mistake in front of him there. One of the yellow cars, I can't quite see currently who it was. It was actually Brugman. So Brugman made, oh, it's Wurzer. So Wurzer made a mistake now. He's down into P5. So you can see he just took a bit too much curb and well, actually ran out of the carousel. So once you go off the banking at the top of the banking, you lose a lot of time. Isn't that right, Ollie?
Yeah, indeed. But in faster cars, or like we have Timo Bernhard in the Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo, who set the fastest time ever on this Nordschleife with a 5:19.546. He has to stay out of the bumpy part of the carousel with that
absolutely
super fast race car.
Yeah, that is one of the scariest laps, one of the best laps I've ever seen in terms of motorsport. Like, you know, my favorite lap of all time is probably Lewis Hamilton's Singapore qualifying run in 2018, which is just out of absolutely nowhere. He plucked out a world-class lap, but even that can't be compared to the lap with that Porsche 919, like you were saying, of the Nordschleife. It's just from another planet. You look at it,
indeed.
It is just every 10 seconds you're thinking, this isn't possible. This must be a computer game. There's no way this can be a possibility.
He's tricking physics all the way.
Yeah, exactly that. Oh, it's a big spin there in front. I'm not too sure who that was. And that was Stock. So yeah, Christian Stock there makes a mistake. He's down into P20 now. And here we go. Here's the racing at the front end of the grid here. And actually, I tell you what, Robin Frijns is doing a Kelvin van der Linde right now. He's bump drafting the car in front to try and help everybody out here. Sharing's caring, as we know. And he's now actually closed up to Wurzer. Is Wurzer going to do the same to Ben Green? They are. So all three of them are like, right, let's go for this now. Let's try and push our way up to the lead battle here. But let's work together. It is a three-way bump draft as it stands. We've been seeing this quite regularly in this championship, Ollie.
Ducking down behind each other to get the best of slipstream you can get, and then try at the right moment to step in front. But obviously it did not work out for the Dutch, for Robin Frijns. He's 6th, but we're in the front with Ben Spanky.
He's got the job done.
Yeah,
looks like he had the slipstream and he's got the job done. And the only thing that will be against him now is he will not have DRS here. So he's back into the lead. Ben Tuck's going to do the hard work again. Free wide into turn 1 here. And well, up the inside is Robin Frijns. We've got Wurzer around the outside. And I think Frijns is going to get them both. He has! There we go. So he was pushing them along the big long back straight here. But as soon as we got onto lap number 2, Frijns not friends with them anymore. And he decided, you know what, I'm off to go and chase down the leaders. Next up for him then is winner from race number 1, Brugman. And I tell you what, Frijns is the dark horse here, Ollie. I think he's got a big shot of winning this race.
Yeah, obviously, when he keeps progressing like he did in this one corner at the end of start finish. One is off, it's Ben Green, the guy in his Ginetta wreck. He's down to position 7 at the moment, just in front of Dani Juncadella, but he managed to put his car back on the road and find the rhythm again. Well, they take the chicane and then turn once again into the Nordschleife track.
Damage hasn't really been a huge factor over the last couple of weeks because DRS around such short circuits, you kind of can keep in touch with drivers behind you. But if you have any sort of aero damage around circuits, such as the Nordschleife, you are in serious trouble here. Lucas Auer then trying to make a potential move here on Dani Juncadella, but not able to get the job done here. Again, he would have wanted to get that done before he got onto this part of the circuit. This is the narrowest part of the circuit here, sector 1 of the Nordschleife. He's a little bit bummed that he didn't quite get the job done. But again, the top 5 are as it stands. Bent Banky leads here. And actually, Ben Tuck's dropped down. He is. Kubowski is up into P2. And Bent Banky has been gifted a load of time here. I'm not too sure where Bent is. I think he's gone up the lead here. Maybe leads by, about 2.5, 3 seconds up in the lead then. And then Brugman is just in behind here. Frijns, so not able to get away from Wurzer. So Wurzer and Frijns maybe need to work together here as we head towards the midway point of this race. And well, it's Bent Banky's to lose as it stands right now.
It's 3 manufacturers at the top 3 positions with an Audi in front and with Ben Banky behind the wheel, then Mercedes with Kubowski. No, Ben Tuck made the move and put his BMW right at the 2nd position.
Got the job done. This is where the overtake's been happening in race 1, but it got done just before that corner there. So Ben Tuck really wanted to get a move on it, really, a move on. And he will have DRS, and so will Kubowski. So Kubowski has got to use his DRS in the right parts of this circuit, try and not lose too much time battling side by side. They need to work together if they want to win this race. If they do not, Bent Banky will just gain more time every single lap here, or every single sector of the lap here. 10 minutes, 30 seconds to go, so that means we're going to have 1.5 laps left of this race. And again, you know, we say Frijns has got an opportunity to win this race, but if Bent Banky keeps driving like he's driving, Ollie, there's no way to stop him.
Yeah, he's making big steps forward while everyone is battling just behind him, so he's gaining some more meters, like you explained, corner by corner.
Yeah, we've got Steen here behind Rockenfeller. Of course, you remember Steen back from round number 1. He got a win in the Mustang as well in the opener of this championship. And you see side by side, and he's in the livery that Gary Paffett's been using every single week here, that Euronics livery. And well, yeah, Steen, I don't know, using his inner Gary Paffett here to get the job done on Mike Rockenfeller. And those two have had some battles over the years, that's for sure.
Indeed. I seem to have a problem with my pictures. It's just still. So please continue.
Well, Mike Rockenfeller then is in P16, then in behind Steen. So Steen's got the job done, but of course Rockenfeller will be looking to move a little bit further forward here. And here we go then, Kubowski, Brugman and Tuck. So Tuck leads this little group here. Kubowski then a Czech driver in the 2nd position, or ultimately in 3rd spot. Because Bent Banky is off in the distance. And again, Frijns in P5, not able to drive away from Wurzer, and Wurzer is keeping him very honest here indeed. But as we then head towards the back end part of this very, very famous circuit, you can see, I'll tell you what, I got such a smile on my face seeing the cars, seeing this circuit, seeing the names. Man, it's been an absolute pleasure being able to commentate this for you. Hopefully all of you people at home have watched this and enjoyed it week in, week out. And again, you know, this is for your entertainment at home. Obviously with racing not being a real thing right now because of the world pandemic, just hopefully this is something you can smile about every single week. It's going to be a shame for it to be over. But again, all good things do indeed come to an end. But again, thank you very much for watching. Yeah, well, keep us posted on social media, at Raceroom, at Actual Vision. Come and say hello after the stream. Let us know what you thought was good and what you didn't like, perhaps. Well, from my perspective, there was nothing that you should not have liked, because it's all been absolutely incredible. Through the carousel, there we go, Lucas Auer in P8. Yunkadea then is in P9, and then in front of them is Ben Green. So there are nice little clusters of racing action happening all around this circuit as it stands. And again, with the nature of this circuit, no overtaking opportunities really. It's kind of 4 or 5 positions where you can make an overtake. Of course, DRS does aid that, but it's one of those circuits where you've got DRS open. There's so many bumps, there's so many undulations to the circuit that it does indeed promote potential mistakes here. Again, up through this right-hander where the exit is just creeps up on you. There you go, look, you're already running wide there, was Junkadea. It's so easy to run off circuit there and completely ruin your race, especially when the tyres are really, really warm. It kind of grass melts onto your tyres up through, again, this uphill right-hander. And, well, there's a mistake. There it is. Just runs a little bit wide, and we can see now, all of a sudden, that Junkadea has moved up ahead of Lucas Auer. And Lucas now, in an attempt to try and close that gap, has made another error, and he drops off the back of the lead. But here's Ben Spanky then leading this race as it stands. Ben Tuck then is in second position. You see the group of 3 drivers behind. If Ben Spanky doesn't make a mistake, Ollie, it looks like it might be all his with 1 and a bit laps to go.
Yeah, it looks like. And as you mentioned, the action coming up this season, not only the 2020 cars, we have a professional esports series as DTM and Race Room are working closely together for 2020. So stay tuned. There's plenty of more action to come while we take a look at Lars Brookman on P3 at the moment. But for both Ben Tuck and Lars Brookman, it's going to be a long way to get Ben Spanky in the front.
Yeah, it is. But again, he's working on his own here. It's like the Tour de France, if you think about it. Yeah. You know, 3 drivers working together is always going to be more beneficial than 1 driver at the front here. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens here. And, well, Kubowski's learning from the Kelvin van der Linders of this world. Kelvin's left a big mark on this championship, because no one was doing this before he was, that's for sure, especially the double draft here, as we want to look at the full group of 3 here and to see, well, actually, has there been a mistake by Ben Spanky? There must have been, because it's, well, so yeah, there we go. So Ben Tuck did have DRS then, of course, so he's waited until that long back straight, whereas these 2 drivers have obviously used all of their DRS then during the lap. And, well, will Ben Tuck be within that 1 second of Ben Spanky? Oh, he's just outside of the DRS range then, we've just been told. So it's not going to be a DRS race then for Ben Tuck. So he's got to try and get it done on his driving ability alone. But the best factor for this is Brugman will not have DRS, but I think Kubowski will. So out of the top 4, only 1 driver has the DRS. So for me, the top 3, if no one makes a mistake, they will be our podium sitters. Little move here made by Dave Gaming. And I tell you what, he's not had the best of championships here as our esports and Twitch and YouTube superstar from Germany, but a top 10 is in the offering. Ben Green's the next driver up the road for him here as we start our final lap of the DTM Esports Classic Challenge here at the Nordschleife. Woo.
Great stuff. Dave Gaming just passed the Hungarian guy. There's always a Hungarian now at position 12 at the moment, while we take a closer look to Dave Gaming. And here he comes. The Hungarian is putting himself to the inside and making the step forward.
Yeah, there's always a Hungarian, as we've come accustomed to in these championships. There's always at least one of them. And while he is flying that orangey red, white and green flag with absolute pride right now, but although he's under so much pressure here from behind already, so Dave Gaming is not letting it go here. So we've got an esports driver versus an influencer. I hate that word, but an influencer all the same as they come up towards then that chicane before they come onto the Nordschleife. And Dave Gaming there has made a great move here. He's got the inside line through the left-hander, and I think he might get the job done, but now they're under pressure here from the Romanian. So we've got Neg is in P13 now. Unlucky for some. And in behind them is Nico Müller. Oh, there's a spinner. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Not too sure who that was. And, well. Oh, it was. Oh, such a shame here. So he's the 4th driver out of this race then from our 24 starters. But it means that these have all bumped up a position, so they are genuinely fighting for that final points-paying position here, Ollie.
Incredible stuff we see as we take the seat in the car of Nico Müller on position 13 at the moment. We take a look into his gaming room or his simulator room in Switzerland, and he's trying to make his way up and pass Meg Joboslai and maybe Dave, so he makes the step into the top 10, and we're back at the top 3. Peter Kubowski on the 3rd position.
Yeah, Kuboski then is up into P3 here. Brugman, who won race number 1, is in P4. Ideally, they want to see the front two battling for position, so it slows them down, but they're not going to be able to because Benz Banki's been able to drive away here. And again, you're talking about gaming rooms. I've got a simulator room as well, Ollie, like a proper simulator room. The wife, she likes to call it the bedroom, but, you know, it's a simulator room for me. So being involved in this, Ollie, will this get you involved? Will you look to potentially go out there and buy a rig and get yourself involved? Do you already have one, maybe?
No, I don't have one. I'm sitting in my Nürburgring room, as you can see in the background, but it should be the proper place to set up a rig. And I think I'm waiting for the next PlayStation or get a PC, whatever, to play the R-Factor games or Race Room as well. I have to sort it out. At the moment, I'm a bit low on money as I'm a freelancer, so I have to wait, save some money and get the rig. So if you have some spare parts, I'm open to it.
Absolutely, I love it. Plug it. Why the hell not? Yeah, I would suggest definitely go for a PC because Race Room and R-Factor, they are only on PC. So you definitely need to get one of those. But look at this then. Potentially, if Lars Brugman is going to make the move, contact between the two drivers up the hill. And actually, Brugman, who I think that's pretty much a very optimistic move at best there, was the one who came worse off, which is, we don't want to see these come on. We don't want to see any contact at all, really. But kind of luckily, Kuboski got away with that because he was definitely the innocent party there. Ben Tuck, by the way, I think is closing in on Benz Banki. I think Benz Banki might be in a little bit of pressure towards the end of this race. Ben Green then is now in P8. He's got Robin Frijns, who's dropped down the order here. Thought he might have a run at P1. But Frijns dropped down. He's going to make a little move here, potentially on Ben Green. Ben Green there, just holding his line. Doesn't seem to be too worried about Frijns. And actually, he's got DRS here, so he's going to be able to drive away. With 1 minute 14 seconds to go, it is the final lap officially of the DTM Esports Challenge. I'll tell you what, I've had an absolute blast here. But finally, I think Benz Banki might be able to get the job done. But again, there's two bridesmaids there. It's Benz Banki and Ben Tuck in P1 and P2. One of them's going to get the victory, I think, here. Which one is it going to be?
It has to pay out when you manage to get pole position, I think. So let's see whether Benz Banki or Ben Tuck is going to be the one who crosses the line first. But still, it's almost half a lap to go as they are through the Caracciolo Carousel, approaching the Hohe Acht point where the elevation is going up again here in the green hell.
Yeah, if one of the top three here does indeed win this race, again, it'll be another new driver, and that would mean that Jarno Opmeer would be the only driver to be a double winner. He's only done 2 races. Oh, of course, Tom Blomqvist as well. So actually, it's 1-1. Real drivers and esports drivers. So, yeah, there we go. So it's been so split down the middle. Every single week, we've been seeing the real drivers and the esports drivers really duke it out. Genuinely, like, it's hard to choose between the two groups.
Incredible stuff we've seen throughout. There's a short season, just 5 race weekends with double races, but it paid off very well. I think some of the drivers like Nico told were improving their driving skills, but he started very well into this short DTM Esport Classic Challenge season already. So I think he's not too... he's not crying that he's not on the podium this time, but it would have been picture a nice one for the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Banki, though, again, is not that far up the lead as he was. He was 3 seconds as they went through the carousel, as they do indeed around the top of the hill, left-hander as they come through the second carousel here. Just that one long straight to go here. And, well, will Ben Tuck be in the range to potentially have a fight here for the race victory? Again, I think Benz Banki might just be too far in the lead. I don't think Ben Tuck, of course, he was just outside of DRS range then, as here we come down. You can see already Ben Tuck is trying to get into that slipstream, so he feels he might be close enough here. So it might be a late run for a potential victory. I don't think he's close enough at all here. You can see the concentration on his face is kind of, his race performance here now is in the lap of the gods here. And actually, I think he might be potentially under more pressure from Kuboski in P3 for the P2 spot. And yeah, it is. It's really closing up here. And of course, Kuboski does have the DRS then. Oh no, it's a late move there to defend. And actually, he gets shoved there from the DRS and actually gains a few miles per hour as they come up through the final few corners here. And Kuboski's going to try and make the move. There's no gap up the inside. Ben Tuck then defending for his life here. He wants his P2. Again, he's been the bridesmaid quite a few times in this championship. Never quite got the race victory. The race victory will go to Ben Spanky, but who's going to finish in second spot? It's going to be Ben Tuck, I think. Ben Tuck is just about going to get the job done, and he does. Kubowski will finish in third, and look at that. He is sweating absolute bullets. And as the great Jimmy Broadbent says, the race cars may not be real, but the racing certainly is.
What great stuff we see, and what a great performance of Ben Tuck. He was not winning the race, but still he finished on the podium, and he can't wait to step into his DTM trophy car and start the real racing season, as well as I'm standing in the grid to do the proper fan TV for this season, and I'm looking really much forward to see some proper DTM racing in this season, some DTM classics, and of course the DTM trophy as well.
Absolutely, it's going to be a very, very exciting year, and I think there's going to be more attention on it than ever when it comes back, because everyone's going to have missed it. Everybody's going to come back and be watching on day one. So yeah, I very much wish you the best of luck with it. I will definitely be tuning in myself as well. Maxime there, Unterreiner in P14. We've got the final few cars coming in here. Sven Herthammer in P19, but I think a few cars have retired, so he will need to jump up to maybe P17 as he crosses the line. 16, so P16 then for Herthammer. And here is the official results then from our final race of the DTM Esports Classic Challenge. Ben Spanky finishes in P1. Ben Tuck is in P2. P3 then is in Kubowski. Brugman is in P4. Werner is in P5. Lucas Auer finishes in P6. Our fastest lap was done by Kubowski. Well, there you go then, ladies and gentlemen. That has been... now we're going to go and see a message from our partners. So there you have it then, ladies and gentlemen. The DTM Esports Classic Challenge is done and dusted. We had 5 incredible rounds with 10 races, and we had indeed some of the very best esports drivers in the world versus some of the best real-world drivers in the world. And of course, I've been here commentating, but we've had Mr. Factman, Oliver Sittler. Thank you so much for being involved. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully you've enjoyed the experience of coming over to us Sim Racing Championships and giving it a good old go.
It was a great season for me, a short season in the DTM Esport Classics, but I thank you everyone for joining us. I thank you, Luke, and I'm really looking forward to the thrilling calendar of DTM, and I'm sure you can follow and you will follow us on social media and YouTube Live as we are broadcasting all the races and all the trainings in YouTube, and I'm looking forward to this season. I say thank you, Luke. I say thanks to everyone involved, and hope to see you soon again.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, this was a bit of fun to keep you all entertained while we are all in lockdown. I want to say a massive thank you to all of the key workers in the world, to all of the workers within your health services in whatever country you are watching right now. The world will get into a better position, I'm sure of it, over the next few months. But make sure that you do indeed stay safe, stay at home, and help your national health services and whatnot out in this very, very tough time. But that has been the DTM Esports Classic Challenge. I've been Actual Vision. Ollie's been Ollie Sittler, and we should maybe catch you another time. Bye-bye.
See you there.